Hello, seventh graders. Let's continue our discussion of argumentative writing. So first, we asked the question, what is argument writing and how is it different from other types of writing? So we learned that the purpose of argumentative writing is to get your audience to agree with your claim. In order to do that, our arguments need to be supported by data, facts, and observable reality, not opinions. Your opinions are not strong enough to get your audience to agree with your claim. So as we read through articles, we had to remember that it was important to be skeptical of the sources and to understand bias. We learned what good evidence was, and we located that in our articles. Now we're ready for the next step, which is the writing. There are going to be 5 parts of our argument essay. We're going to have the introduction and thesis, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, our counterclaim and rebuttal, and our conclusion and restating of the thesis. So we are actually going to begin with our body paragraphs because we have our reasoning and our evidence ready to go. Then we'll move on to counterclaim and rebuttal, come back to introduction and thesis, and end with our conclusion and the restating of our thesis. So I have here my articles. My evidence is highlighted. It's categorized. So when I got to this chart here, I realized that I had more on the pro side of the argument. So if the question was, should governments enforce red light or speed cameras? The pro side of the argument is yes, they should. When I was looking through my evidence, I saw things like that there were 201 less deaths, that there was a 24% decrease in accidents and fatalities. So this here is my evidence. This was the topic, was that cameras are proven to reduce accidents in intersections where they are installed. Some other evidence that I found was that tickets decreased by 68% and that violations tripled when they were removed. So those 2 pieces of evidence fell under the topic of cameras motivate drivers to slow down because of fines. My next step is I'm going to turn these into my body paragraphs. This one topic with these 2 pieces of evidence is going to be body paragraph number 1, and this is going to be body paragraph number 2. So let's go ahead and look at our mentor text. Red light cameras save lives. So obviously we start with an introduction here, but we are not going to worry about that just yet. Let's look at the body paragraphs. And we're going to look at this structure here. We did this with our thesis writing as well. We talked about the paragraph structure, and we used the structure and this highlighting in order to help us do the same thing in our own writing. So first, our topic sentence, the topic of our argument, our first way to prove our claim. So I'm going to take cameras are proven to reduce accidents in intersections where they are installed. That's going to be topic sentence 1. Red light cameras are beneficial because they reduce the number of accidents at intersections where they have been installed. Awesome. Now I have my evidence here that there were 201 less deaths and that there was a 24% decrease. In my body paragraph structure, I'm going to provide my first piece of evidence, so 1A. And then if I need any additional details or explanation that goes with that same piece of evidence. So a lot of times this is going to be your paraphrasing or your direct evidence. This is going to be what's going to be in your own words or further explanation. And we're going to do that twice. So 1 piece of evidence with additional detail and explanation. The second piece of evidence, part B, with the additional detail or explanation. And then we're just going to close it out so we can transition into the next paragraph. So let's look for that in this paragraph. According to an article, that's a really good transition phrase there to let my audience know that I'm going to be talking about evidence. According to an article posted by the Texas A&M Transportation Institute, in the U.S., there were 201 less deaths from red light crashes in 2011 than there were in 2007. That's the piece of evidence that I found and that I had put in my chart here. Now I'm going to add my additional detail or explanation of that. So I have that the cameras had not been used in 2007 or before, but their use had increased greatly in 2011. So the amount of red light cameras went up, which means that the death from crashes went down. All right, next piece of evidence that I had found was that there was a 24% decrease. That's my next piece of evidence. Additionally, again, what a nice transition word, a signpost word that shows my reader I'm giving a new piece of evidence. Additionally, an extensive study in Texas showed a significant decrease in accidents at red light intersections with cameras. Okay, that's my next piece of evidence. Another study shows there's a decrease. So my additional detail was that in 10 cities, there had been a 24% decrease in drivers running red lights, hitting innocent drivers who had green lights. Okay, so in these cities, this is the amount of drivers that decreased when they were running red lights when the other person had a green light. That's my additional detail to kind of clarify for my reader. And then I'm going to end with my closing. Remember, our closing sentence is going to kind of refer back to the topic we bring up in our topic sentence. The red light camera detection system is a valuable tool to reduce crashes and therefore injuries and fatalities. So we have done this with paragraph 1, topic 1. Let's take a look at topic 2. Cameras motivate drivers to slow down because of fines. This means my second body paragraph is going to be all about the fines that are associated with it. Paragraph 1 was all about the decrease in crashes and deaths. This paragraph that we're about to look at will be all about motivating drivers to slow down because of fines, because of the tickets that they would get. So, starting off with our topic sentence, we just said fines. Having the cameras in place also motivates drivers to slow down and stop because they fear getting tickets and having to pay a fine. Next should be a piece of evidence. Let's see. According to a study, again, what a good signpost word there, what a good transition word to let our reader know. According to a study published by the American Traffic Solutions, in just 1 year alone, with cameras installed, tickets decreased by about 68% in San Francisco. That's my piece of evidence. Now I have an additional detail to go with it. In Los Angeles, results were even better with a decrease of 92%. Wow, look at this. On the other hand, what a great transitional word there. On the other hand, when cameras were removed, so this first piece of evidence talks about where they were installed. This says when cameras were removed, in Virginia Beach, within just a few months, the number of violations tripled. So it went back up when they were removed. So, additional piece of evidence or explanation. These drivers knew they were no longer being watched, and it obviously made a difference. So, finally, I am going to have my conclusion sentence, which is going to restate the topic of this paragraph, which is that red light cameras certainly influence drivers' decisions because no one wants to pay a traffic ticket. This is the structure that you are going to use when writing your body paragraphs today. Refer back to this video or this mentor text in order to help you as you write your body paragraphs. Happy writing!